Winter in Belarus. Well, I can't speak for 40 years ago, for example, although I've heard it was a lot colder, but nowadays it's really not very cold. Like a lot of people, first of all, they don't realize that Belarus is even a country. If I'm talking about people in the United States, you ask them, do you know about Belarus? They'll go like, what's Belarus? Not where is Belarus? Or like they're like, what's Belarus? Is it a fruit? No, it's actually a country. But if they know it's a country, well, they don't often realize that it's a country. They think that it's like a city in Russia. I've even seen movies where it will say Russia, Belarus, or Russia, Belarus, Minsk, or Russia, Minsk, Belarus. Somehow I watched a movie that took place in Minsk, part of it, and it put the location on the screen, and it said, like, Russia, Belarus, Minsk. Maybe it just said Russia, Belarus, or Belarus, Russia. I don't know, but a lot of people don't realize it's its own country. So when they think of Russia, they think really cold. You're definitely going to bring like a big jacket to Russia. I've even talked to people who thought like they can't go to Russia because it's too cold. Now, I'll just sometimes when I'm saying Russia, I'm just referring to Belarus and Russia, or Belarus, Ukraine, and Russia, just as one thing. Although Belarus and Ukraine are more south, so they are a bit warmer. I even know a guy here that's from Petersburg, and he likes it more here in Minsk because it's a lot colder in Petersburg. I mean, it's not like, oh, I've been there, maybe I just got lucky. It was cold, but it wasn't like impossibly cold. But yeah, he likes it more here for a lot of reasons. But one of them is that it's not as cold. So let's get to the temperature in Minsk, Belarus. In the winter, as of late, as in the last few years, last several years, it doesn't even get to minus 20 Celsius that much. Like, yeah, it hits minus 20, but it's not like you go a month or two or three of solid minus 20. Seems like it's usually minus 5 to minus 10, maybe minus 15. You do hit minus 20 sometimes, but yeah, it's not that cold. And another thing is the humidity is very low. When there's not very much water in the air, heat does not transfer well. So the heat from your body does not exit your body very well. Problem for me, if I sweat, then the heat can leave me easier. But yeah, I walked to the gym today with just this. The gym is pretty close to me. I can see it from my apartment. But still, like most people, they go like, oh, it's too cold. Like, how are you? People need to toughen up. Like, think logically. It's not going to kill you to walk 4 minutes, 5 minutes in minus 5 weather. So suck it up and deal with it sometimes. You're going to go, but I don't need to. We have modern luxuries like jackets. Why should I ever be cold? Because discomfort and hardship makes you stronger. Not just physically, but mentally. And mentally weak people are weak, and they're dangerous to themselves and everyone around them. Yeah, it's not that cold in Belarus. When I have to walk in the morning, when you know you're tired in the morning, I actually really surprised myself last year. And oftentimes when I surprise myself, I try to think, like, am I just imagining this? But no, I wasn't imagining it, and it wasn't earlier in the season, because last year I didn't come back here until mid-December. Mid-December is in the winter. But I actually walked like this, 25 minutes to class most days. From December, well, I mean, the whole time, from December to July. Yeah, that's surprising even for me, because even nowadays, like I'm walking around, I'm like, oh, it's kind of cold, and then I'm thinking, how on earth did I walk 25 minutes to class in the morning with just a t-shirt on, regardless of what month it was last year? When it was raining, I did wear like a paper thin windbreaker thing to keep the water off me. Sometimes I did wear a leather jacket. I typically wear a leather jacket because I don't like wearing such big jackets. I don't like having to bend down and zip it up. Should have got a jacket that cuts off higher because I don't like bending down and zipping them up. But yeah, I just don't like having such junk on me. Yeah, it's not junk. It's really good to keep you warm, but overall, like, I do just fine with a leather jacket. If it's really cold, I'll put an undershirt on and a t-shirt on under the leather jacket, or an undershirt plus a long sleeve shirt under the leather jacket. If it's really cold, I'll put an undershirt plus a sweater under the leather jacket. But, sometimes I like to enjoy comfort as well, especially early in the morning when you just don't want to do anything but sleep. I'll put on my big snow jacket. But by the afternoon, I would rather just walk around in a t-shirt or a leather jacket like today. I wore my snow jacket in the morning, but, well, I'll say yesterday, because yesterday I wore my snow jacket in the morning, and then I came back home around noon. When I went back out, I wore my leather jacket. Actually, it got a little bit cold, and I was thinking, oh, I'm not excited to walk home, because it's cold, and it's going to be even later in the day when I walk back home. But I walked back home and it was fine. It wasn't that cold. Uh, yeah, just leather jacket with t-shirt. It was -5. But yeah, it's pretty dry. So most people, like, it's not because I'm just so tough that I can go around in cold weather, even if it's more humid. But also, like, everyone from foreign countries says, like, whoa, it's so warm. I can't believe it's -5. Like, it seems like it's +10 or +5. So yeah, it's very dry and you don't feel the cold as much. But you gotta be careful for your throat and your nose because it dries it out, then it cracks, then pathogens get in and you get infection. And actually, speaking to you right now, I feel my throat and sinus area drying out. So I'm gonna stop this video soon. There's not much more to say. Whoa, 7.5 minutes. Yeah, not that cold. Like I said, t-shirt, leather jacket. If it's colder, undershirt, t-shirt, leather jacket. If it's colder, undershirt, long sleeve shirt, leather jacket. If it's even colder, undershirt, sweater, leather jacket. Sometimes I would do undershirt, t-shirt, sweater, leather jacket. And only if it's really cold or I'm sick. That's the number one reason, if I'm sick. If I'm sick, I feel cold, plus it's good to keep your body temperature up, so I wear the snow jacket. You can wear tennis shoes most of the time. You're going to want to wear warm socks with them oftentimes. You don't actually need to wear boots most of the time. I like boots because you can walk through different terrains better and your feet aren't going to get wet if you have to go through wet snow or high snow or whatever. I got better traction with my boots. But yeah, you really don't even need boots most of the time. I mean, if you're going to walk around for 10 hours and be outside 10 hours, yeah, wear boots, wear a big jacket. But if you're just going to walk for a few hours around the city, tennis shoes, warm socks, long sleeve shirt, leather jacket, hat for your head, yeah, that is very nice. Yesterday walking to class, I did not wear a hat. And the wind was blowing, and the right side of my face got really frozen. Like, I could feel the blood, like, not moving well. And I'm surprised, because I've gone in cold weather a lot, but I've never felt this. I don't know, maybe just weird happening, but I was actually worrying, like, what if my head gets so cold that the blood's not moving enough that I pass out? So I started pushing more blood to my head, and I know it's just facial stuff, superficial, but I was moving facial muscles more. I started to walk faster. I thought, like, if I need to, I'm going to start running to get the blood pumping faster. Main thing is I just did not want the blood to be too slow in my head from cooling down, that I didn't get enough oxygen to my brain, because it was weird. Like, the wind was blowing and the whole right side of my head was starting to hurt and get really cold. Kind of like when you get brain freeze, but the whole right side of my head. I guess my long hair really helped me because I would go around with long hair, long curly hair, so it's good insulation. And I could even get my head covered in snow. I could go through any weather. I never felt my head freeze like that. So you are going to want a hat. Really, it's even a beanie isn't quite warm enough oftentimes. Like you'll deal with it because you probably only want to wear a beanie. But an Ushanka, those big furry hats, that's what you really want sometimes. And probably if you're in Petersburg, St. Petersburg, you're going to want an Ushanka. It's not so stylish nowadays, but really, if you're going for comfort and you want a warm head, that's the way to go. Because even in Minsk, there's a lot of times when having a simple beanie on your head is not warm enough. Oh, my hands. My hands get cold. Whenever it's below zero, I need gloves. I don't know if it's just because I'm a small person. The bigger you are, the better you're holding your heat. I don't know if it's because I have a bad circulation to my hands. I mean, I got some pretty massive veins I can see, but yeah, my hands get really cold. Even if it's above zero, sometimes I'll wear gloves, but if it's below zero, chances are I'm wearing gloves. Today, because there wasn't much wind, I didn't really need gloves. Plus, it was only like -3 later in the day. But still, like, after walking around a while, they still start to get cold and gloves are good. But most of the time, below zero here, I wear gloves, probably want a hat. But I don't need a big jacket, don't need boots, but I'll often wear them because, like I said, tennis shoes, you're walking through different terrain, that's not always the best. Hope you like this video. Check out my other videos on health and fitness, or on Belarus, or on dating, or on whatever I've made videos on. And please like, subscribe, and comment. It costs you nothing, and it can help me out someday, hopefully.